This product has actually been conceived in these hills right around us here. And the reason it came to be is I would hike up, I solo hunt quite frequently, and what I wanted to be able to do was solo hunt, but I also need to be able to get that animal out in rapid time periods so the meat doesn't spoil and I don't have to break my back. So as I get older, I found that I still like to get out as far in the woods as I can, but it's very difficult for me to, with bad knees, to get that animal back out on my back. So I can carry a 75-pound pack in, but if I add another 40 or 50 pounds of meat, it's a little bit more of a struggle for me to take it out. So what I've invented is effectively a frame pack. So here you see the buck truck in its frame configuration. It weighs 12.4 pounds. It carries just like a frame pack, and I'll show you that on my person in just a few minutes here. But then it converts into this cart over here. You can pull out the wheels out of the pack, the handles slide out, and what you're left with is effectively a wheelbarrow carry. So now you can strap that animal onto the cart. You have all your satchel for all the gear. The satchel comes off the cart, goes on your back just like a normal backpack would, and now you've got the ability to take out both your animal and your gear as you go. So I'm going to spend the next few minutes here just telling you how to take the cart and convert it from the pack to the cart configuration, and then we're also going to walk through a couple different other configurations. I found that in certain areas like sagebrush and such, having the wheels spaced apart is maybe a little bit difficult to navigate through the sage. So the cart is actually convertible, so you can actually change this into two wheels in the middle and actually be able to navigate kind of serpentine through that sagebrush. So I'll show you a couple different configurations here over the next few minutes. We'll show you how to take the cart from the pack configuration into the cart, and we'll show you those different configurations so wherever you hunt, you can find a way to get that animal out without having to be such a strain. So I'll be right back. Okay, so here we are. We're going to show you how to convert the buck truck in a pack configuration into the cart configuration. So I'm going to start out, I always carry a multi-tool with me. So everything's been designed to be able to be converted with what you have on you during the hunt. So very simple. You take the strap that holds the frame apart off the part. You then loosen the waist belt. It's two little simple straps, and that slides off. You want to make sure you keep everything you need right here next to you. I don't know how many times I've walked back to pick up something I actually left behind. So the next step is actually to pull the pins that hold the pack onto the cart off. And I always start at the top with this, and I'll show you why in just a second here. So again, I'm going to take my pins, I'm going to put them down here on my waistband. But if I start at the top and I pull all four of these pins, you'll see if I turn this over, all four of the handles come right out of the slides. So they're actually custom made. They do have some just soft tape on here to keep them rattling. So I do a lot of spot and stalk hunting, and if this rattles, I have a much less chance of actually getting into an animal. Okay, so now that I've got the handles out and I've got the top pins off, I'm free to pull these bottom pins. The reason I don't pull those at the end is the handles will actually slide down to the bottom, and you can see this curve, they sometimes get caught there. Don't panic if they do. All you do is turn the product over, tap it a couple times, that handle will come right back out. So pull the four pins that hold the backpack on. Now the pack and the cart are separated, okay? So depending upon the configuration I'm using, sometimes I can leave these shoulder straps on. But if I'm going to use the soft pack actually to carry my gear out, I'm going to need these, so I'm going to go ahead and pull those off today. So you'll see the bow tie clips here, very simple. Pull those off. The pins come out, and now again, hold my pins carefully so I don't lose them. But now I've got the straps and I can put those on the pack in just a few minutes. Again, everything's going right here on top of my waistband so I don't lose anything. So a lot of people ask me how long it takes to put this cart together. It really only takes a few minutes, but what I find is usually when I need the cart, it's because I've already harvested an animal. I've usually had to walk a ways to them, so it usually is a nice little break for me to catch my breath and spend a few minutes catching my breath, put the cart together, and then I'm ready to go again. So again, I've taken all the pins, I'm carefully putting them here. The pack, I always do ship these packs with extra pins, so if you do lose one in the field, but they're a few cents, you can buy them at just about any hardware store. Put a couple extra in the pack and you've always got enough to do it. Okay, so now I've got the pack. You can see it kind of creates an A-frame. Now's the time for me to get the wheels and all the other gear out of the pack, out of the satchel, and I can put this together. So I simply open up the pouch. I pull my wheels out. I pull the spacer that actually holds the cart apart as it's being used, and the 2 axle spaces. So at this point I can take my multi-tool and I'm going to just loosen these screws. If you don't have a multi-tool, you always have a knife. These are slotted screws, so they're pretty easy to open up with a knife. Get them a little loose and then start unscrewing them. Now, one tip here is never take it all the way out. You can see this holds the frame together, and I don't actually have to take it all the way out in order to get the axle off. So at that point, now I don't have to worry about losing these 2 screws. I've got the axle in my hand, and at this point I decide what configuration I want the wheels in. So I'm going to show you both here. So if I have a smaller animal and not a lot of weight, or if I'm traveling through sage, what I may want to do is put this together with a 2 wheels paired in the middle configuration. And you'll see that the axle spacers go on either side, and then the axle can drop right back into the product. So, and you'll notice as I did not take these screws out, it's very easy to put it back in place. And now the product is ready to just tighten this up. I flip it over and I'm ready to go. So I'll go ahead and pull this back apart though, and show you what to do if you want the 2-wheel configuration. So all you do at that point, you'll see the 2 wheels have these risers on them. I always either put the risers out on each other if you are in single wheel, or towards the frame. So if you always keep the 2 risers out towards the edge of the frame, you can't go wrong. So for the 2-wheel configuration, I pull one wheel off, I slide both spacers on. Oops. Put the wheel on. And again, I'm right back in business. So I'll go ahead and tighten it down in this configuration for now. And you can see it doesn't take very long to assemble. I am right-handed, however. And now I'm in pretty decent shape. I'm ready to turn the cart over. So at this point, I rotate it, and the foundation of the cart is all set. This is where that spacer comes in. So as you can see, now I can actually open and close this cart. I don't want it folding up on me, so I'll put a deer on it and then try and rotate it up. When you've got a full deer or large game bags, you'll see these 2 straps. Always try and get that animal right inside. Before you load anything, however, slide the pin in between. You'll notice 2 holes on the frame here and here. And what I do is I simply use my elbows and my hands to bend that pin. It's effectively a fiberglass pole. And now you see I can't bend this very readily. So this keeps the cart open in an assembled configuration. So now I'm ready to load everything, and I'll put the handles on and put my pack back together, and we're ready to go. So let's start with the handles. All I do is align the hole in the handle. I slide that down until I can see it here. I take one of the pins and pop that through. So that's how you assemble a handle. So everything stores inside itself. Now I've got the handles ready. I'm going to go ahead and take a break here, and I'm going to put all 4 handles on. I'll show you the cart in just a minute. Now I have all 4 handles on my cart. If I'm alone, I only need 2, obviously. I typically walk. If you look at the way the cart's configured, this side is actually a little narrower than this side. So for a guy my size, that wider frame feels a little bit better as I'm walking. lot of times if I do want to though, if it's a little bit more narrow, I can walk with this end, but I typically prefer the wider end. There's also an ability here to actually, if you take the cart, I can actually do this in a single frame configuration. So what I would do is actually just take one of the frames with me and leave the other one off, and effectively I've got the same type of wheelbarrow cart with a single frame. I'll show you that later as well. At this point, I've got the cart all set. Now I need to get my gear back in my bag. And for that, I'm going to start with the straps. What you'll find on top of the bag is these clips. And so what you do is just undo those from the strap, open this up, and put your shoulder strap in place. Down at the bottom of the pack, you'll find another one. Same thing down here. That's one. That's two. Now I'm going to gather up all my pins so I don't lose them. And obviously these can go in your pocket if you want to be even more picky about not losing them. So I can put those in the back of the backpack. And then what you'll find is, and you want the curved side down, you're going to slide the strap, the waist belt, through this pocket on the back of the pouch. At that point, you've got your soft satchel. You've got you can put all your gear in here, strap up. The animal's loaded on here. I just simply rock back, and now I'm ready to go, and I'm on my way back to my truck. So that's this configuration. I'm going to take a few minutes and we'll show you a few more. Okay, so I wanted to show you this configuration here with the two wheels paired right in the middle. So as I mentioned, sometimes going through sagebrush or even fall down timber, it makes it nice because you can effectively walk and roll, serpentine this product through that sage as needed. So with lighter animals, it's very easy. You can kind of use it just like a wheelbarrow at home. So as I mentioned, some people love their custom pack. Please don't look at the brand label here. I did the same thing. I found a pack I really loved, and then I invented the buck truck and decided, sometimes I want to marry the two together and actually have my own custom pack with all the pockets I really love, or for whatever reason I'm hunting an animal that's bigger, smaller, etc., and I can actually use the same pack. So the product works the same exact way. All you do is put the same configuration. I pull the waist strap off, I pull the strap off, and now what you'll see, all I've done is I've taken the sternum straps here and I've hooked them over the frame and the waist belt and around the frame. And now I'm back to a buck truck and my favorite pack, and I'm in the same position. I can take my buck truck and my animal out on the buck truck. I have all my gear in my pack, but it allows you that convertibility between the various products. You'll see in this case, like I just showed you, the straps don't have to come off. Tie them down, wrap them around so they don't catch in the wheels, and again, you've got a product game cart with a pouch, and you can haul your deer off and make a nice and easy life on yourself. Okay, so I wanted to show one more thing. The product is actually provided with 4 of these straps. These are actually EMT straps. They'll hold around 300 pounds, so they're used to strap patients down to backboards. When you're ready to strap your deer down, use the product, use the straps, loop it through the loops, and what I do is I will do it one on each corner. There's a long side and a short side. Loop it through. Here's that loop I was talking about. The clip goes through the loop, cinches down, so you can put your weight or your load in the middle there. Clip it shut, a simple pull, strap it down. I've been carrying deer out for the last 3 years. I've never had one of these slip. Sometimes the meat kind of moves in between. You just readjust, strap it down again, and you're off and rolling again. Okay, one final configuration I wanted to show you. So sometimes I archery hunt for javelina or other small animals back in the backcountry, and I really don't need both frames in order to carry that 40 or 50 or 60 pound animal. So a lot of times if I want to slim down a couple pounds, what I'll do is I'll actually take the wider of the two frames off, and you'll notice I can still assemble the wheels to the narrower frame, and now I can just strap my animal right here, and I lose all the weight of the extra frame, so it's about 1.5 pounds, 2 pounds, but I still have the ability to carry the animal out. I don't know how many times I've walked out 4 or 5 miles with a 40-pound animal slung across my back, and it's amazing how heavy that little animal gets over that course of distance. So anyway, this is another way you can actually take some of these smaller animals out, even down to an antelope. 75, 80, 90-pound animal can go on this without any problem whatsoever, and it saves you a little weight during that hunt. So anyway, that was the final configuration.